the front heads all set up. I'm going to show you on the side zones here how to connect up the heads, but I just want to do a quick showing of what we've got set up here. This is one of the zones here running. Got our valve box all set. Just got to do the 4 wires or the 5 wires. I had to put this little spray head in this corner here just because it's an awkward area to irrigate. But all that we have left to do is bury these 3 heads here in this zone. So I'm going to show you the 2 different types. We've got the pipe that was run through here. Okay, so we're going to tee off and add a head right here where this flag is, and then we're going to do a head down the end, which will be how you tap into the end of a 1-inch pipe, as you can see, because it ends right there. So this one's going to be tapping into the pipe, and that'll be terminating the pipe at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and dig these out and show you how I do it. Alright, so that's all there is to it. You got a T-fitting here. Run the funny pipe out to the head, which gets buried. Now I'll go ahead and fill this all back in like it never happened. All right, so you can spend some more time. You know, you could set up a tarp to put all your dirt off or your dirt on when you take all the sod out. But this whole lawn is getting an overseed and a light layer of loam. in all the areas that we have dead grass and whatnot. So I wasn't too concerned about making it perfectly neat, but you can see just kind of putting the sod back together. And there's the head right there in the ground. I'm gonna go ahead, this actually there's no sense in showing you how to do this last one. Basically it's the same type of thing, only instead of the T, we're just gonna have this here. I'm gonna cut this pipe back, put a clamp on, and then run the funny pipe right off of this. And this will be the last head in the zone. So we'll have this head, that head on the zone, and then we got the 1-inch pipe. We're gonna do the same thing on that, cut it back, put one of these on, and put the head in right over there on the right hand side. So let me finish it up and then we'll run through some zones and take a look at the finished product. All right, got those 3 heads buried. Just gonna go through a quick adjustment on a head just so you can learn that part of it. So I try to get as close as I can to an adjustment before I turn the system on or the zone on. Now keep in mind, before I added any heads to this zone, I ran the solenoid through the pipe to make sure obviously that we've got water there, and to flush out any contaminants, dirt and rocks or whatever that got into the pipe during the digging process. So and then you can go ahead and hook up your heads to it. So let me just show you now on these heads. Hopefully you can get this here. These are the Hunter Pgps. Now there's a few different companies that make heads. This is the most common one. They have a pro version of this as well that's got a little better insides. I believe it's got like some stainless steel in it or something else involved with making it last longer. But this is usually what most people use, these Hunter Pgps. So we've got 3 basic slots in it that you need to know about. This arrow right here is what direction that the spray nozzle is going to be shooting in, okay? And it rotates back and forth all the way to the right, all the way to the left. So right now it's only got, you can see it's going to shoot out this way over to that way, okay? So that's the most that it's got. So now this is adjustable on one side. You can only adjust the left-hand side, basically counterclockwise, how far it turns. The clockwise is a fixed position. So anytime you adjust these, you start with turning it. First of all, you can, let me just show you where the nozzle is. This little slot here, you put this tool in, turn it and lift it up. Okay, now you can hold the head up because it's got some spring pressure. And here's your nozzle where the actual water shoots out, okay? And this is the nozzle that we put in at the beginning. And this Allen part of this tool goes down in here, and you can adjust this screw, which restricts the flow of water and changes the spray pattern when we get to that. So right now we're not worrying about that. All we're worried about is the stop position. Okay, so we turn this all the way to the right, and we want that to be all the way to the right of where we want it to swing. So right now that's off a little bit. Okay, so we taking the whole head and spinning it. Basically, so the right position is all the way to where I want it to spray to the right. And then we go ahead and turn the left and see where that stops. Now that's going too far that way. So what I do is turn it back all the way to the right, and then you stick this end of the tool in here into this hole that has the plus and the minus, and we want to subtract from the swing. So we put this in. You'll feel it kind of like click in, and then we're going to turn it a little bit to the minus. It doesn't take much. And then pull it back out, and then we retest it. That's still a little too much. Do it again, take a little more out. Try it again. Okay, that's pretty good right there. So that's a good initial startup spot, because you don't want them to shoot in the complete wrong direction when we start it up. So we're going to go ahead and fire this zone up for the first time, and then we can go ahead and make fine adjustments that we need to on these heads and all their swings. While I put that those 3 heads in, I had this zone running just to kind of wash down some of the mess we made. You can see we're looking pretty good out here. Alright, so to manually turn these on, you just take these solenoids, and just like a screw, you can unscrew them, you tighten them up or unscrew them a little bit, and that kicks on each zone manually. So right now I think this is the one that's on, so I'm going to tighten that up. And then you can see that zone shut down. So this far zone here is the one that we just did. It's the last one in the setup. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Just about 3/4 of a turn is all you need. And we're fired up here. So there's going to be some air in the system at first, so it's going to make a little bit of noise, but now we just start with each of the heads and adjust them where we need to. Alright, so this is swinging towards the left right now. I heard it click, so it stopped there. We need it to go a little bit farther to the left. And now we'll see where it stops on the right. Which again, we can only adjust by turning the body of the actual head. That one over there is getting us wet. Good stopping point. Alright, so this one's swinging around. And I'll show you, you can speed this up and not have to wait for it to make its full swing just by turning the head if you want. Alright, that clicked and stopped. We need that to go a little bit farther too. So I'm basically just going to grab this, go a little bit more that way, and I'm going to add a little bit plus so it goes a little farther. Now we can manually just take this and see where it stops in each direction. Okay, we need it to go a little bit more. Plus. That's onto the cars, so that's a little too much. That's about best we're going to get right there. And now you can see the stream of water that's coming out of it. Now that's adjustable, like I said, by using this Allen into the top of this. Come on. There we go. And then you can tighten that down. You can see it brings it all the way down to like a misty spray. So depending on how far and how wide you want it to shoot, you can adjust this to reach your destination that you're trying to water here. I want this to shoot pretty far, so I got like a stream like that'll be good. All right, let's go over to this one. Same type of thing. Just going to turn this all the way to the left, almost to the house. To the right, we're right along the driveway where we need to be, so that's good. I do want to cut down the spray a little bit. Like that. Maybe a little more. Good. I think this one's stopping a little short of the house. Oh, that's pretty good. With the wind blowing, we don't want it to soak the side of the house every time. Alright. Now we got this one. We want to make sure this isn't soaking the house, so this is going to be a little more important to cut down the distance of the water spray. Should be good there. All the way to the right, we want it to go a little farther. To the left. A little more. You can see we got good head-to-head coverage. Basically, there's an overlap in the watering. Each head reaches the next head next to it. So you have basically double coverage to make sure you have no spots that aren't getting watered. This is kind of a unique yard, so it was a little difficult to get perfect coverage, but there's also a lot of weird nooks and crannies and areas and a lot of shade and sun. So we've got going to be kind of in the works for the next 6 months, probably, just to, well, not these next 6 months, but 6 months in the growing season, kind of fine tune each of the zones as far as how much water and the spray patterns and all that. But we've got a good 99% coverage the way it is now. Might need to adjust in the future, add a head, change a head out, change some nozzles, things like that. But the idea is to get the system up and running for now, and we can kind of fine tune it as we go. But that's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and shut down the system. Actually, I'm going to leave that running a little longer and get my wiring toolbox, and we'll go ahead and connect up these wires. I'll show you how that's done. Alright, trying to keep this simple for you. This is the main wire coming in, this black wire here that we installed over to the controller. These are all of our grounds, all of our commons, neutrals, whatever, from all 5 of our solenoids, all connected together and connected to the white wire. Okay, and I like to put some dielectric grease on the fitting, on the cap that I use, and then twist the cap on, and then electrical tape as well, just to kind of really hold it nice and tight. So there's all of our grounds, basically our negatives. So now all we have to do is connect up each one of these wires, which is the second wire in each of the solenoids. Each one connects to one of these color wires that are for each of the zones in the control panel. So I hooked up the blue one, which is this first one right here, which is the first wire in the the zone 1 in the controller. So I set that up as the first. Now it doesn't really matter, you can put any color on whichever one you want, but to keep them in order, it's nice to kind of work your way around the yard. It just makes it easier for adjustment later. So I usually just do it by alphabetical order when I hook it in. So blue will be first, BL, then brown for B's, and then G for green, then orange, then red, then yellow is the last one. The yellow is wrapped up around here because it's unused. That's going to be a we've only got 5 zones, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the wire here for the common. So there's actually 7 wires inside of this. You can get all different ones, different amounts depending on your zones. They have them, I believe, 4. I think they have 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 12. All different colors basically. So this has 7 inside. We only need 6, which is the ground and then the 5 zones. So that makes a total of 6. So this yellow wire is not being used. So we do leave it in here, and we've also got the capabilities inside the controller to add a zone in the future if we wanted to, because it's a 6-zone controller and we're only using 5 of them. So just going to get this all neatened up, and we'll be on to the controller. Here's just a quick inside view of the main water supply coming in, which again was the 3/4 inch in this house coming up, and then we've got 3/4 right into the pipe that goes out for the backflow. This is what the plumber added in, and the whole house is actually only running off of the 1/2 inch here. So this had to be tapped in off of this main pipe. If you tapped it into this pipe, you'd be at a 1/2 inch restriction, which wouldn't be enough volume. So, and we ran a controller wire across and down, and got the controller hooked on here, just plugged into the wall. Simple, just connected some little ties right into the unit here. And let's pull this bottom section off. You can see here's our wire connectors. Here's our common, our white wire. Okay, and then here's each of the zones, alphabetical order: blue, brown, green, orange, and red, and then yellow. And now I've got the yellow one hooked up, even though it's not connected to anything, just for in the future if we want to use zone 6 we can, because this is a 6-zone unit. But right now the only actives are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up now. Basically, self-explanatory. There's a guide right here on how to do it, but I've got the date and time already set up, I believe. Just put it on run. Yeah, 4:25. I'm pretty sure that's the current time. I think I already set this. Yeah, so we're good there. Okay, so this is start times, First, you can do multiple programs. I'm not going to go through all the features in this, but right now it's off. We're going to change it. Let's have it start. I usually like to have it start about 5 in the morning. I'll do 4:30. You just want to make sure it's a time before everybody gets up and takes their showers so you don't have a water pressure issue. And then we can move on to a second start time if we wanted, third, fourth. So there's 4 different start times per day you could actually set up. Okay, so we just have it to come on one time at 4:30 a.m. And here's your run times. Okay, right now I'm just going to set it up for about 15 minutes per zone. So there's 15 minutes on the first zone, and then zone 2. 15 minutes. Zone 3. Now some of these are going to go up and some of them are going to go down, but for now I'm just going to start at 15 and make the adjustments from there. And then zone 5. 15. Okay. And then zone 6 we're going to put 0 because there is no zone 6. Okay. All right, so, and then here's the actual watering days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right now it's set up if there's a drip, you can hit the down arrow, and now it's a flat line, means it won't water that day, and the water drip means that it is going to water that day. So you just go back and forth and select what days you do or don't want it to water. Right now we're going to water, going to be doing some seeding, so we're going to water daily. Going to keep them all on right there. Okay. And then seasonal adjust, you can adjust the whole unit, all zones at once with just one adjustment by upping or downing a percentage. This is your pump setting if you need it to turn on and run a pump, which we don't in this situation. And here's manual mode to go ahead and switch through the zones manually and test them out. So right now I'm going to turn on zone 1 and go out and make sure that it's running properly.